Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode on entrepreneurship and how to start your own startup. So today we have Mr. Amar joining in. So Mr. Amar is the founder of Chakna. So thank you very much, Mr. Amar, for joining in. It's my pleasure to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lakshit, for having me here and giving me an opportunity to interact with you and your viewer.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So coming back to the question thing, if you can speak about yourself in your background and what you do, that would be amazing.
See, so I belong from very, humble background and from a small village of Bihar, right? And by education, I'm mechanical engineer, right? So I started my career from Tata Motors. Then I joined, oil and gas ministry organization, that is Engineers India Limited. And I joined in capacity of, flexibility engineer there. Then
Okay.
I handled project management portfolio, international marketing, quality department, and all these things.
Okay.
And then I did my MBA from IIM Ahmedabad.
Okay.
And after IIM Ahmedabad, I started my own startup
Mhm.
in education segment. So the name was SmartStudent.club. So where we were, benchmarking tier 2, tier 3 schools
Okay.
with the tier 1 schools, helping them to grow
Yeah.
and develop themselves, right?
Okay.
So I worked for approx 2 years there, right? It was a very nice idea, right? Actually very nice idea. Many people, media house and all these things appreciated those, right? But somehow it could not take off the way I thought, right?
Okay.
So I had to close that startup. But in a startup, it is always said it is not the intensity that the way you hit the ground. It is
Yeah.
the intensity of bounce back,
Yeah.
right?
True.
So I bounced back, right? And I founded then a very youth centric snacking brand that is called Chakna, right?
Yeah.
So we have launched very innovative, exotic, trendy, and nostalgic flavor on nuts, right?
Okay.
So the first product line was the simple peanuts, right? So what we did, we identified a gap in the market that youngsters, especially millennials like you, right? They don't have their own brand, right?
Yeah.
See, nowadays people need everything that it should be mine, right?
Yeah.
With the advent of the rap culture, the free spirit culture, so youngsters like that there should be someone which I can relate, right?
Yeah.
So with that vision, right, so we launched all these products. So when we go through our products, it's not normal peanuts and all these things. It's jalapeno peanuts, it's peri peri peanuts, right? It's a smoked tandoori, it's mint flavor and all these things.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So
Wonderful.
the journey is quite exciting,
Mhm.
and people are loving the brand and all these things.
Okay. And what was the story behind starting Chakna Shut and how did it come? How did it start?
When I closed SmartStudent.club in June, July of 2018, so I was completely blank at that time because raising a startup is just like raising your own baby, right? So I was completely blank at that time, and I was losing my motivation, right?
Okay.
But again, I bounced back, right? And I designed one snacking brand in the name of Chakna, and
Yeah.
then identified a very well gap in the market and launched some innovative exotic flavors of peanuts, right? So our flavors like peri peri peanuts, jalapeno peanuts, smoked tandoori, mint flavor, achari flavor, and all these things. So when we launched it, right, the market accepted very well, and the journey started from fag end of October, you can say. So it's just very young company. I would say it's a baby company now, right? It's just 1.5 year, right? But yes, we are doing good. We presently we are in multiple cities. We are in multiple channels also.
Okay. Wonderful. And how did this idea come out for starting? Why did you think that there is a need of company like Chakna Short? What was the reason?
Yeah, see, I would ask a question from you, right? If I say, what is your snacking brand? Do you
Okay.
do you relate to some brand, right? Or it is just as namkeen or snacks brand, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there is a clear need of a brand which millennials and youngsters can relate, right? So
Okay.
when we did our pilot among young groups like in pub and bars, in co-living space, in some events, corporate events, and all these things, college events. So people started talking about us, right? Because the name is very catchy, and it connects to the subconscious mind of youngsters also, right?
Yeah,
Chakna,
true.
right?
Chakna.
So it's very catchy name. It's very funny name, right?
Yeah.
And the way we created our packaging, the brand messaging, and all these things, right? So that was the right product market fit that I thought of, and I launched it, and means the target market well accepted it.
Okay. And how did you find this trendy name? How did it come into your mind? Like when I was reading your LinkedIn profile, I saw that it was like your website, not LinkedIn profile. I checked it was written Chakna point. So how did this idea come? And it is eye catchy. If I'm sure, if I'm truthful to you, it was catchy. I'm like, yeah, this is some kind of unique name. Yeah. So how did it come to your mind?
Since childhood, right? It's my, you can say, my hobby,
Okay.
means I used to play with the words in name, right?
Okay.
So I used to make some name, right? So generally nowadays it is called the responsibility of brand managers in MNC and all these things, right?
Yeah.
So that I used to do in my childhood, right? So playing with the name, connecting with the customer,
Mhm.
fixing that product into the customer's, consideration list is my strength, right?
Okay.
So when I was thinking to create one brand, right? So many
Mhm.
experts, because I belong from IIM Ahmedabad, so there are many experts from industry and all these things, right? So they told me, Miss, this is very, it's not very weak name, right? But I was very much convinced that it is a very strong name, right?
Yeah.
And I just kept it, right? It was just a, you can say, a gut feeling, right? That it
Okay.
will work, and
Okay.
it worked.
Okay. And how did you you have a long way to go, and but anyway, in this 1.6, like, 1.5 year, how did you make it so, in a long way? What kept people believing in you, and what was the thing people liked in your company, and what did people love about your company?
See, there are two, three parameters your customer, measures your product or your brand, right?
Okay.
First, there should be some wow factor around the product or brand, right?
Yeah.
So one people, let's say, means a customer who is paying a single penny on your brand or product, right?
Yeah.
He or she must believe that I should touch this packet first of
Yeah.
all, right?
Yeah.
So that packaging concept, the packaging design has a story, right?
Okay.
When you will see our peanuts packaging, right? So it tells a story, right? On the background there is a cosmopolitan city, there is a seashore, right? The chilling attitude, right?
Yeah.
The logo is, I say my logo, owly, right? So
Okay.
owl is a night bird, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very silent bird,
Okay.
active in the night, right? Now who becomes active in the night? Youngsters, right?
Yeah.
Who becomes active in the night, right? Who
Yeah.
becomes active in the night? Party lovers,
Yeah.
right? So uh, all these things, all these brand building, small thing, right? I collected, I sensed it from the market.
Okay.
And you will not believe me, when I was developing this product, I at least met 500 people, right?
Okay.
I used to sell stuff from my hand, right?
Yeah.
I know living baggage of I am Ahmedabad or engineer or blah blah light thing, right? I used to stand in front of tapri, used to sell snacks, right?
Okay.
By giving 200 or 500 rupees to the shopkeeper, कि भैया आप यहाँ पे रहो, I will not sell it, right? So that way, I get connected with the customer, right?
Okay.
I myself, placed a stall in pubs and bar where I used to go as a guest. But when I was developing my product, so I interacted lots of youth in all these things, right?
Okay.
And created a story out of that and put
Okay.
it into the packaging and brand and all these things,
Yeah.
and the result was good.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. How did you get this, when I speaking about the packaging, is the packaging done by you, or is an expert or somebody there back, doing this packaging out? packaging and designing the whole packet cover. The idea which you are telling is great. Owl and the name and the how chilling thing. Yeah, how did this come into your mind?
See, nobody believes in, right?
Yeah.
But each word on the content side and
Hmm.
each color and each design,
Okay.
I did it. Right?
Hmm.
Yes, obviously I don't know the tools and technology. Means there is a graphic designer
Yeah.
who used to design the things, but I have my own diary, right? So because I was knowing after 10 years, let's say if I make this brand, right, people will not believe that this was drafted by you, right? So I have a proof of that, right? So each and every design, each and every design, right, each and every content, right, what will be the color. So see, when you see the background of Auli, so that is sunset and sunrise color.
Okay.
Again there is a story, right? So from the sunset till the sunrise, just reverse, means not the sunrise to sunset, right? From the sunset to sunrise, all young people are alive,
Yeah.
all young people are active, right? And
Yeah.
that's for Chakna sort is brand for, right? So those are
Okay.
the stories and all these things.
Okay, wonderful. What did you said you just started in a company before and then an education company before after that.
Yeah.
So what was the reason you think you did not was able to continue the company and you had to start Chakna Point? Yeah, I'm very sure that you learned from those journey and growed
Yeah.
up and started Chakna Point. But what were the failures? What were the hard times you learned from? What were the things you learned from those back two companies and which made you start and grow in a bigger company, which is Chakna Point today? What was the story and what were the failures you learned from those two?
So this question is very close to my heart, and thank you for asking this question, right?
Okay.
So see, just for your viewer, right, or your listener, right, there is nothing like failure in life, first of all.
Okay.
Nothing like that. So if you put this word into your life, right, it will create failure, it will create fear, it
Okay.
will create frustration,
Okay.
all the negative words, right? So
Yeah.
don't go on that failure side, right? You take risk, right, you will fail, right, in your parameter. That if society and your friends and family say that you fail, but actually it is not the failing, right? It is just experimenting with your life, right?
Yeah.
So in the first startup, right, so I was aggressive, I was aggressive, and I have not focused to solve one problem, right?
Okay.
So what happened, so in education there are hell lot of problem in our Indian education system, right?
Yeah.
So when I started to solve one problem, I saw 10 problems,
Yeah.
right? So when I started to solve control 10 problem, I saw 100 problems,
Yeah.
right? So the business model get diversified, right?
Okay.
And when I tried to get back to the track, and by that time I was dealing with across 40 schools, right, and
Sorry. Yeah.
thousands of students, right?
Okay.
So we were impacting the lives of students from rural India, right? Lots of good stories, right?
Yeah.
So me and my team used to visit very small villages of Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, Bihar, UP, right? And we interacted thousands of students, parents, and all these things. And you will not believe, we changed life. uh, Means a school where students and kids are not wearing slippers, shoes, and chappal, right?
Okay.
Right. And then we converted that school to a school of students wearing blazer, right, with their school logo,
Okay.
right, with the shoes and all these things, helping them to think big, conducting sports event, conducting teachers training, and
Okay.
helping them to just create a natural and active leadership among them, right?
Okay. Okay.
That was a very nice model and all these things. But yes, the model was so big that it could not be controlled at that time, right?
Okay.
And the second part is, so there is one very thin line to convert business model into the revenue model, right?
Okay.
So ideas are good, right? But when you try to execute in the revenue model, it
Uh-huh.
it calls for many challenges.
Okay.
So at that point, I faced a hell lot of problem
Mhm.
that, while I was converting into the revenue model, so people started saying, okay, you are impacting me, you are impacting my kids, it is okay, but we
Okay.
are not going to pay you.
Yeah. Oh,
So that is
and
the problem.
okay, and how did you raise funds for the company? Like, what were the was it a funding company, or was it type of a business? Like, what was the total idea behind the company? How did it work?
See, still Chakna Sort is also a bootstrap company.
Okay.
So all money I put in this business, right? So somehow I managed to convince my wife, right?
Okay.
So fund me.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm not speaking about Chakna. I'm speaking about the company, the schooling thing you said.
Yeah.
So how did it work? What was the business model? How did you get like how did you get the funds? Was it a funding company or was it a business? And how did it work?
No, no, it was not a funded company,
Okay.
but I started, generating revenue, and
Okay.
from that revenue, I, started, maintaining team and all this.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. And what were the hurdles before like you started two companies and they didn't work? I'm very sure that your family members would have said, Amar, don't do it. You already did, your two companies have failed. Why do you want to get into another one? Why
Mm,
did you get a job? I'm sure somebody have said that. So what was your response to that? Those questions and all.
yeah. See, I'm not at that stage of my life, right, where I need too much, validation from outside the world, right?
Okay.
Means in terms of parents, friends, or anything. Right? So yes, because when I was graduating, right, so I had 6 jobs, right? So I was, academically very acclaimed person throughout my life, right? So people know whenever he will try to do something, he will do, right?
Okay.
So while I was in engineering college also, so I was, graduating with 6 jobs, right? And I made a record of cracking all India gate exam in third year only, right?
Okay.
Just for your viewer,
Okay.
so gate exam is the toughest exam, toughest technical exam in the world, right?
Okay.
It is conducted by IIT, right? And I cracked in third year only. So what does it mean? Means if you crack third year, gate in third year, it means you have completed your all engineering paper in third year only,
Okay.
right? So I was that type of boy, right? Means karna hai, jo bhi karna hai to karna hai, right?
Okay.
So when I started all these startup, right? So so now I am on the decision making level in my family, right? So whatever
Okay.
I will do, yes, the consent and the discussion I do with my wife, right? But she has seen me throughout the life, right? He is just one liner person, agar karna hai to karna hai, right? So she supports me and just I am taking risk and all that.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, yeah. So what's the story behind you being an engineer and getting into starting your own company? So what's the story behind that? Was it doing business in your passion, in your skills, or was it you want to do something different?
See, since childhood, right, I had no aspiration of doing job,
Okay,
right? I am the first person in my whole family tree who joined job,
okay,
right? Otherwise, I belong from a business family,
okay.
right? So, and I don't find any thrill in the job actually, right? So, so there in a job, right? There is experts, right?
Yeah,
Means you are a marketing person, you are an operations person, you are a, let's say this person or that person, but you are not a person with, it's a whole perspective, right?
yeah,
So you are not an innovator there, right? You are not a risk taker there, right? See, if you have 100 crores of fund behind you, right, and company support, that is that is not called risk, right?
yeah,
Taking a opportunity, that is a risk taking on the others' money, right?
yeah.
But when you do startup, right? So each penny, each single rupee, right, that you take, it will make you or break you, right? So
Yeah.
that type of thrill, right, I need in my life. It gives me a challenge to move forward, right? It creates me, a surrounding where I can, expand my dimension to the next level.
Okay.
So I did my job, right? I was in job for 7 8 years, right? I left my IIM Ahmedabad placement also just to, pursue my startup dream and all.
Okay. And what has been problems? What have the toughest situations and problems occurred in the journey of Chakna Point? What are the kind of problems you saw and you tackled them and you are making it company work better? Yeah. What are the problems? What
See,
were and what are?
see, it's a era of stories actually, but I'll try to concise it.
Sure,
So
sure.
I don't belong from FMCG company, right? I don't belong from food background, right? I was a hardcore mechanical guy, right?
Yeah.
Government officer, right? So the first thing that was a challenge, right? How to think, how to start a FMCG or food company, right? You will not believe I learned it from the factory guard. I learned it from that level, right? But when one thing there is in me, right? When I decide something to do, right? So I'm a firm believer that any person in this world can do anything, right?
Yeah.
Now you have to align your energy in that direction, right?
Yeah.
So I used to visit industrial area, food park, food colleges, started interacting with them, requesting students to share knowledge. And I am a foodie guy, right? I love food, right? I love the charm of that fragrance, aroma, and color, texture of foods, right?
Yeah.
So that is my second passion, right? So I just pursued all these things, and it was a really tough journey, no doubt, right? But it was exciting, right? You learn each day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and just persistent and all these things. And today I somehow I bring that small startup initiative to this level.
Okay. And what did you learn from juggling, doing jobs, being a mechanical engineer, then starting your own startup? Sure, not those two startups which did not work because of some problem, and again starting a startup. What were the major learnings you learned from these? A lot of different kind of time in your life, different kind of journeys in your life. What did you learn from them?
See, you have to set your expectations right in your life, right?
Okay.
What do you actually want, right? So if you analyze people around you, right, so you will discover one fact that many people do something in their life which they don't want. Okay? Either their family, their friends, their society, they create a pressure on the person,
Hmm.
and that person goes into that journey to
Okay.
make others happy, right? But if you want to do something in your life, right, you have to first make yourself happy, right?
Yeah.
So in my talk also I say, be selfish, right?
Hmm.
Be selfish, please. Make yourself first happy, right?
Yeah.
See, nowadays the world changed, right? So 50 years back there was some means you can count the professions on finger, right?
Yeah.
Engineering, medical, this and that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now a YouTuber is a career,
Yeah.
right?
True. True.
An Instagram follow, influencer is a
Yes,
career, right?
career. Yeah.
Yeah, a chart loving person in Bangalore can create a hell lot of influencing activities and pursue them as a career, right?
True.
And the classic case is Bhuvan Bam, right? The famous comedian.
Yeah.
So the world is changed, right?
Hmm.
And the world is changed in a positive way
Yeah.
that one person can pursue his or her dream,
Okay.
passion, right? And align but just one thing is important, right? You have to be very focused, right? So
Okay.
I failed 2 times, and I failed not 2 times, right? I failed 200 times in my
Yeah.
life,
Yeah. True.
right? Right? But I always believe there is 201 is there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I will fail 2000 times, but I always believe there is 2001 is there, right?
Yeah.
So that is the journey that I follow in my life.
Okay. And what would be an advice to anybody who wants to start a startup or wants to start their own business? What would be your advice to them?
See, you have to first identify a product or service, right? Let's
Okay.
say you want to do something, right? Then you have to create that a clear cut clarity in your mind
Yeah.
that what your product and service is going to in the market,
Okay.
right? Either it is solving some problem, either it is generating some new category, right? Or it is bringing in some innovation, right? So there are different type of startups, right? Tech startup, non-tech startup, product based startup, service based startup, right? So you have to understand that what type of startup you are going to pursue, and that should be aligned with your natural frequency also, right?
Okay.
It is not job, right? That you are a mechanical engineer or civil engineer and suddenly you join TCS and Infosys and you started coding,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that is not the thing, right? You have to understand your passion, your natural frequency with the product or service, and then, right, some key elements like your product market fit, right? Your brand positioning is very much important.
Okay.
See, you can sell anything in this world, right? But that positioning should be very strong and clear, right? So the idea, the positioning,
Okay.
right? The problem that you are going to solve, right? And the one important thing also, a good team, right? If you can create a good team
Hmm.
from day one, it will
Yeah.
help you, because maybe you are not a strong one person that you can run the show alone, right? Or let's say, and not any single person in this world is having all the capability and the skill set, right?
True.
So you need some complementary skill set in your team also, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am running the show alone, right? In Chakna Shot also, I'm the single founder of this company, right? But team building is important, and plus you have to calculate, right? It can be a back of the envelope calculation also, but you have to understand the maths of business also,
Yeah.
right? So passion plus pasa,
Hmm.
right? You
Yeah.
have to understand both, right?
Yeah.
That how many days, how many months, how many years you can survive with your idea, right? And these are the hard things, right? That you have to evolve with yourself, with your idea, right? And forget about the pressure that worlds create around you, right? So you have to say no, sorry, thank you to anybody, right?
Yeah.
But you have to choose one path. So be on that path. And
Yeah.
again, coming back to the point, there is nothing like failure, right?
Yeah.
You will learn many things.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Last two questions. What kind of things do you see to keep yourself updated to the trend? Like, I'm sure you said I created mint flavor chaknas and these kind of peanuts and these kind of nuts. So how do you keep yourself updated with the trend?
See, so there are two ways in product. So I will be specific in the product line companies,
Yeah.
means FMCG products and all these things. So the trend is very much important. You
Yeah.
know brought a very unique point, and it's a very intelligent point actually, I will say, right? Because any company, if is small or big, right? If they loses on the trend is what? Trend is the evolving thing, right?
Yeah.
Trend is the innovation part, right? Trend inspires innovations, right?
Yeah.
So in my case, so I am very close to my customers,
Okay.
right? So as a practice, uh, each week I call some customer, saying myself as a customer care executive,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
I play some devil's advocate role also, right?
Okay.
And I say from myself, right, that I don't like this company product and I will leave this job soon. What is your view?
Yeah.
So when you when you play devil's advocate, so people will give you right feedback, right?
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So that type of thing. Now I'm giving you a very small example. When I was selling my products among youth, right?
Hmm.
So just for your knowledge, we are selling in 1,000+ corporate offices.
Okay.
Our Chakna is present in Google's office, in Amazon's building,
Okay.
In your story, canteen vending machine,
Okay.
in Taj Hotels vending machine,
Okay.
right? In IIT hostels,
Okay.
right? So many good places, right? In Oyo rooms and all these things, right? So when I was doing all these things, so one day, one girl just, lightly told me, you have created product for boys, right? It
Okay.
was a very small comment on some interaction,
Okay.
and it went into my mind,
Okay.
right? And it took me 4 years, sorry, 4 months, 4 months to send her Emily flavor cashew,
Okay. Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
I told her, now this is product for you.
Oh,
And this way, I develop product.
wonderful,
And
wonderful.
that product is doing really good among girls and all these things, Emily flavor and all these things.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, so last question of today's session. What would be an unique message? What would be like any kind of message you want to give to anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur, wants to start their own startup, or want to create their own business? What would be your one message to them?
Do it.
Okay. So yeah, wonderful. Thank you very
Don't
much.
think.
Yeah, true, true.
Don't think. Just do, right? Allow yourself to fail, right? Don't worry. Life is big. Life is beautiful, right?
Yeah,
We are handling Corona, right?
yeah,
After
yeah,
Corona, the world will be better, right?
true.
Kids will play in the park. The hope should be there, right? So please, please, please do it. Don't stop yourself.
Yeah, so wonderful. Thank you very much for being here. It brings us at an end. Thank you very much for joining in.
Thank you, Lakshit.
Teaching us so unique kind of techniques. How I'm very happy that I had and you joined us. You taught us a lot of different kind of things towards entrepreneurship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lakshit. Thank you.